Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina Dhami. This is 13 Now, your evening update. 7:30 on this primary night. We have about an hour and a half before polls close, and we have team coverage as our crews are out across the area right now, including right here in studio with us as well. We have Tessa Bentulin, Elaine Houston, Dan Levy, Rachel Tiede, all covering different parts of this primary night. So let's begin with the race, the special election in the 19th congressional district, and talk with Dan Levy first about he's covering Mark Molinaro, the Republican candidate in this race. And you're down in Hudson right now, Dan?
I am in Hudson, outside Molinaro campaign headquarters. And you know what? The election here, the special election, I should say, here in the 19th congressional district, Sabrina, is really a job interview for voters for a job that won't exist 4 months from now. Now, does that mean it's not an important election? No, nothing could be further from the truth, because this race between Mark Molinaro and Pat Ryan is being watched by both political parties all across the country. It's really seen as a bellwether for the midterm elections, which are coming up in November. Now, from Democrat Pat Ryan's perspective, this special election is a referendum on abortion rights. You know, ever since the Supreme Court's conservative majority overturned Roe v. Wade, Democrats in this district and really across the country, they mobilized and they began to focus their campaign strategy on reminding voters that tens of millions of women and families were negatively impacted by the court's decision. And then there's Republican Mark Molinaro. On the other hand, he continues to point out that reproductive rights have been codified here in New York State, and so women really have nothing to worry about. He is focusing his campaign on other issues such as inflation and crime. Now, Sabrina, I think the odd thing here is, as I mentioned, this job lasts for 4 months. And so they're both running in a special election, but simultaneously, both of these candidates are running in primary elections because the districts have been redrawn. So one of these two men will be a congressman for at least 4 months, and maybe beyond that. We'll know in a couple of hours.
We will. Again, polls close in about an hour and a half, and we will be speaking with you live with our coverage starting 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We're going to be updating everyone. So, Dan, thank you for an update from Hudson. He's covering Mark Molinaro tonight. Let's bring in Rachel Tiede. She is covering the opponent in this race, Democrat Pat Ryan, also County Executive, Ulster County. Interesting with Pat Ryan, Rachel, is that he's running essentially on 2 ballots tonight, and then in a completely different race if he does win that primary tonight come November.
Right. And it's kind of echoing off of what Dan was just talking about, where this really is an interesting race. And I asked Pat Ryan earlier today about, why run for something that is only going to last 4 months. And he said, because there's issues that are impacting voters now in the next couple of months that he really wants to tackle. One of those he talked about was the VA, his own VA, closing down soon. And so he wants to have somebody at the table who can talk about that and fight for veterans and for people in his district, because he was door knocking earlier today, and he talked about how this is his hometown. This is a place that really is close to his heart, and he wants to be at the table now, not just 4 months from now come the November election.
Yeah, and I spoke with him last week, Rachel, and one thing that we talked about was the voters, our viewers, Greene and Columbia County, that's the area that this district essentially covers. And I asked him, why should they vote for him if come, November, he's really vying for a different spot?
Right. And he mentioned that today, too. He said, I really think it's important to get my name out there, to focus on the issues that are happening now. And it will change, obviously, come November. But he said, regardless, I'm going to run again. And I want to be at the table as soon as possible. And they just started the music. You might be able to hear the music now in the background. So we're here at the Senate garage, by the way, kind of quiet until literally 30 seconds ago when they started the music up. So we'll be bringing you live coverage all evening long here at the Senate garage, expecting him to speak around 10 o'clock or so. But coming up on our special coverage, you're going to hear from him talk about issues that he thinks are important, like bringing relief to the gas pumps, the abortion rights, the voting rights. There's a lot of topics that he feel really matter. And Governor Hochul backed him at a speech last night here in Kingston, talking about those same issues, saying that, she hopes that people put their weight behind Pat Ryan. So remains to be seen.
Yeah, right around this time is when the music starts, as they get ready to start getting the results in about 90 minutes. So, Rachel, thank you very much. Again, she's at Pat Ryan headquarters. We will speak with you live at 9 on My 4. The other big race we are following today is the Democratic primary in the 21st congressional district. Two Democrats hoping one of them will take on Elise Stefanik come November. So Tessa Bentulin is covering one of those candidates tonight. She is at Matt Castelli headquarters, one of the Democrats running in this. So Tessa, what's the vibe there right now?
Hey, Sabrina. So Matt Castelli's headquarters tonight is the Lawrence Street Tavern. He's supposed to be here. The party started around 7 o'clock. He hasn't arrived yet. His people, his friends, voters coming in right now. Most people coming in between 7 and 8. We talked to one of his campaign managers. He should be here by 8 o'clock, we are told. He's going to be speaking tonight. Hopefully we can do an interview with him too. Three of the biggest things on his platform is that abortion rights. He says he's all about healthcare freedom for women, having cheaper prescriptions, a stronger economy, especially now with inflation, gas prices. That's a big topic for him. The other opponent tonight, the Democratic opponent, is Matt Patorti. He said he's going to be watching from home. He's not having a watch party out in public today. But both of them, they have very similar platforms that they're speaking on. And they're not really against each other. They're not attacking each other in their campaign ads. They're really going after their Republican opponent, Elise Stefanik, both saying that she is just a dangerous person in politics right now. And they really just want to defeat her.
Okay, Tessa Bentulin live in Glens Falls right now at Matt Castelli's headquarters. Tessa, thank you very much. And as we said, this race for right now, the Democratic primary in the 21st congressional district, is to really take on Elise Stefanik come November. So my colleague Elaine Houston is here in the 13 Now studio. And Elaine, joining us live right here. You spoke with Elise Stefanik one-on-one last week.
I did speak to Elise Stefanik, and I talked to her and asked her about her opponents, and she seemed to think that they were not a threat at all. I said to her that she was considered an extremist by Castelli. Patorti has said that she is not an independent thinker, and I asked her those two things, and she basically said that come November, they will know that she always beats her opponents. We know that she has won her district repeatedly, and she says that the voters know her. They know that she works hard, and come November, whoever wins tonight will know that as well.
Within this conversation, Elaine, the topic came up of how much she actually corresponds with the former president. Interesting tidbit you found out there.
Yes, I was talking to her because there are rumors, and I'm sure some of our listeners, our viewers have heard those rumors that if the former president should run again in 2024, that he is considering her as his vice presidential running mate. I asked her about that, and she said basically that she will support Mr. Trump if he indeed runs again. And she believes that he will, she says. She says, however, that she is concerned about only her district right now. And I remember being surprised that she said that they talk often. She said that she speaks to the former president on a regular basis, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week, which surprised me, especially since she said that she is not considering running for vice president. So I thought that was very interesting that she talked about that they're that great of friends. Yeah.
The full interview is on our website, and you will have a story airing tonight at 10 o'clock on My 4 with that interview.
Yes, I will, Sabrina.
Elaine, thank you very much for being here with us. All right, let us get a check on your forecast now. My good friend, meteorologist Reed Kisselback, very patient standing by as we get through all of that primary stuff. But we have a lot of weather to talk about as well, Reed.
I know. It was another race. It was a race against the rain for the drive home from work. And some people really got drenched and others got away with nothing, Sabrina. So some of the rainfall totals, there was another day where some people got a lot and other people got nothing. And so Tannersville, one of the highest rainfall totals, and this is looking at the rainfall totals from places such as the New York State Mesonet, our own CDPHP First Warning cams, as well as from the radar itself as we get those measurements. So Tannersville coming in at the top with just over 3 inches of rain. I know some of these totals have jumped up a little bit more. Saratoga Springs now is just up to over 1 inch of rain so far, but Catskill not that far ahead of that. Schenectady as well. Schaghticoke just shy of 1 inch as well. the view out in Saratoga Springs, we had a great view of those showers and thunderstorms coming on through the course of our 4, 5, and 6 o'clock news. You can see kind of the back end of one of those showers trying to clear on out right now. It's down to 68 degrees. And what we're still seeing is the back edge of this still clearing on out of the region. So not quite out of the woods just yet when it comes to a spotty shower or two, but we are going to be more so out of the woods when it comes to as heavy of the downpour as what we saw at 4, 5, and 6. So a live look at the first morning live Doppler radar. Showers more spotty in nature. Still a couple of heavier downpours in some of these, such as just to the south of Gloversville, to the north of Stamford. But we are going to continue to dry out as we work into the overnight period. So you can see by around midnight, we're dried out. 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, we're in the clear. A lot of sunshine in place. Maybe a spotty light shower tomorrow, but overall, we're going to be staying dry through the course of the day and into Thursday. So for the day tomorrow, it's going to be back to the warmth for us. Temperature starting out towards the mid-60s. A lot of sunshine staying with us. We'll push the highs towards the mid-80s across the region. Tonight down towards the mid-60s. Scattered showers, thunderstorms coming to an end. We will have patchy fog developing overnight tonight, lingering to early tomorrow morning. So be mindful of that as you head out for your morning commute tomorrow. Otherwise, mix of sun and clouds. It's warm. It's still a little bit humid at times with highs right near the mid-80s. And the 7-day planner dry for Thursday as well, a high of 86, a lot of sunshine. Another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms coming on through. But Sabrina, the great news for the weekend, it's Travers weekend, sunny, temperatures right in the 80s. It's a nice, good taste of summer weather, as we noticed too, for one of the more bigger weekends up at the track.
Absolutely. I'm going to leave that up for another minute so people can really soak that in, because that looks like a nice weekend, especially for late August. We're going to hold on to it as long as we can. But nice that we're kind of clearing things out, Reed, for the rest of the evening. It turned into a surprisingly really active late afternoon and evening.
Well, yeah. So what happens on these days is we have the humid conditions, we have the instability in place, but what you need is enough sunshine. And so what happened today, there was periods where we got sun out for about an hour or two, and then everything started to fire right on up. And one of the main reasons why Saratoga was bad, they had over 22,000 people lose power. Now, most of them have their power back. I think we're under 100 now. And so what happens is that storm was moving at 10 miles an hour. And so you just had the heavy downpours with it, and you had 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as high in some spots in there. And so that's just kind of what really gave us the stage for such a strong storm later in the day.
Oh my goodness, already a busy day, and we made it busier. But thank you very much, Reed. We're going to see you live on air starting at 9 o'clock as well, along with the rest of our primary coverage. Reed, thank you so much.
Thank you.
A reminder, our special coverage, we are on live at 9, of course, as usual on My 4, and our special primary coverage begins at 10 o'clock, also on My 4. We will carry that over live at 11, right on News Channel 13. That's your 13-hour update on this Tuesday evening, primary day. I'm Sabrina Dhami. We'll see you on air live at 9 on My 4.